everyone, we're back. I'm back. I didn't want to do this again because I know that you folded laundry with me 2 times before, but I tried to give Ben a nap. And okay, so little inside scoop. So Ben is 20 months. He'll be 2 in May, at the end of May. And he's obsessed with his swing, like the Fisher-Price swing, and he still naps in it. Say that's weird, I don't know. He naps in his swing. He loves his swing. So I've always thought, like, what are we gonna do when he gets too big for the swing? Because he's still little, like he's like maybe 22, 23 pounds. And so anyways, I'm on the phone with my friend and I was switching the laundry over, and I'm standing in the bathroom in the laundry room, and all of a sudden I hear these pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, and I turn around and Ben is standing right there, and my heart dropped to my butt. Like it scared me so bad. Like the meme of when your kids are like standing at the end of your bed. Like he just freaked me out. And anyways, so he's up. Like I'm not fighting it. I can't. Today's not the day. It's never the day. So anyways, he's in the other room watching Frozen and eating his fruit snacks. And isn't this a cute towel? Mikey does swim lessons. I got it at like Walmart. But he's in there for now. So me telling you that, I wanted to sit on my couch in my living room and just like set my camera up in there and just be like casual and relaxed. Like, when am I casual and relaxed? Never. So we're gonna fold more laundry because I do laundry every single day. Nothing new here. And today I wanted to talk about postpartum and postpartum depression and looking back at it now and like really realizing that I definitely had some postpartum depression. Now, I want to make it clear that I was not suicidal. I was not going to harm my child or myself. I wasn't in that kind of depression, but I was in a depression. I just want to be like really real and just like really like raw and transparent, and this is I'm just going to talk about my experience with postpartum and really thinking that I had postpartum depression, and I was never diagnosed with anything, but I really do think that I did have some of that going on. And I'm making this because I don't want anyone to feel alone. I don't want anyone to feel different. And I've said it before about this day and age of social media and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, and you see these beautiful women having babies and like posting pictures of them postpartum and like back in their size 00 jeans like 4 days after having their baby, and just all of this. That's not real. That is not realistic. Yes, I'm sure there are people out there that fit back into their 00 jeans after they have like a week after they have their baby, but that is very uncommon, and I just want to put that out there. That is not normal. And you know, and then you see these pictures of like the baby just beautifully in this like white blanket, and everything's so perfect and everything's so beautiful, and like that's just a picture, okay? Like they're not gonna, I mean they might, but they're most likely not going to write some long summary about how they have postpartum depression, you know? So with that all out of the way, I'll start by, you know, talking about my experiences. Here comes Ben. Hi, Pumpkin. Hi. Hi. So I said in the first Fold Laundry With Me episode that I had my first son, Michael. He's 5. I had him in November of 2012, and it was a really bad winter. That winter was just a horrible winter, and so I had him that winter, and it was our first baby, and Mike and I were very young. I was 20, he was 21. We were at a, honey, what? All right, we're back. So Ben's having lunch over there, so if you hear him grunting and eating, that's what that is. So I was saying that Mike and I were really young. We were first-time parents. You know, we didn't know how to take care of a baby. We were learning how to. I breastfed Michael. It was really hard. And for me to like adjust to being up. So first of all, I'd like to make it clear, if I am sleep deprived, I am a different person. I am out of my mind. I literally, in my head, go crazy. I go crazy. Like, it's not okay when I'm sleep deprived. So there's that. There's also the fact that I've always had, my hormones have always been like crazy out of whack, and your hormones producing your breast milk are like just as crazy, if not crazier, of when you were pregnant. And so I had crazy hormones. My breastfeeding was very easy for me with Michael. Thank God. He was like the best eater ever, and it just like, it worked fine. But it was also exhausting pumping. So I'm like, for the first like couple of months, it felt like if I wasn't actually nursing him, I was pumping, and it was exhausting, and I was constantly starving. I had preeclampsia with Michael. I had gained over almost 80 pounds. I was gigantic, and I know like when I'll say that and I'll show my friends pictures, they'll be like, "You were pregnant." Like I took the pregnancy thing to an extreme, and whatever. So I had preeclampsia. I was induced with Michael at 39 weeks exactly. I had him at 39 weeks one day. I was induced, and that was the worst labor ever. I can do like labor and delivery stories if you want me to, but so that winter we didn't go anywhere. Like Mike and I were like, people were telling us like, don't leave the house with a baby. It's too cold. Why do you need to go anywhere? It's like this whole new way of life, and it was really overwhelming. And that winter, I remember like we got snowed in and we lost power, and it was freezing, and all of my girlfriends would like get together and like go to someone's house, and I couldn't go anywhere because I had this little baby, and I live a couple towns over from them, and like I just felt completely alone. I felt alone. And I remember Mike would like always try to like help and be like, "What's wrong and what can I do?" And like it wasn't him, it wasn't it was like no one's fault. I mean, no one wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just me and like my hormones, and I would cry and I would cry and I would get in the shower and I would just cry. I don't want to cry. But it was really hard. And I was just like, what have I done? Like, what is my life? Like, I know it's the best thing to have a baby, but like I was so sad, and my body was like, whoa. Like, and like I said in my first video of when I said to like make yourself feel good, like I mean that. Like you need to like make yourself feel some kind of way, because I was in so much pain. I had to be like stitched up, and I'll never forget, like I just went pee and I screamed bloody murder because the pain was so bad, and Mike like ran in, and it was just such a hard time. And I just remember feeling completely alone and completely like, I wanted to ask for help. Like I wanted, and I did, from like my mom and Mike's mom, and I asked for help, but like then at the same time I was like exclusively breastfeeding. So then I was like, no one else can do anything because all he wants to do is nurse. We got to a point when he was between 2 and 4 months, he would not take a bottle. Even if it was of my own breast milk, he would not take a bottle, and I could not go anywhere without him because he would wiggle and he would scream and he wouldn't take a bottle, and it was really hard. I was home for that period of time. I started working waitressing when he was 5 months, and I just did a couple like weekend lunch shifts. Once I got to get out of the house and the sun started coming up and I wasn't stuck inside all the time, it really helped. It's like that thing, it's like, it's that, I don't know if it's a saying, it's just like a known thing that it's true for like when someone passes away, it's true for when you have a baby, like it's this huge, like you're pregnant, it's this huge, everyone's so excited and I'm gonna come see this baby all the time and I'm so excited, and then like you have the baby and people come and see you and then like they're gone. And that's not anyone's fault, it's just how it is, you know, like they meet the baby and then they're not gonna come over every single day to hang out with you, you know, like that's just how it goes. The days were just so long and so drawn out, and I would be so exhausted, and it's by far the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life is having children. The hardest thing, and it does get easier, and thank God it does. I shouldn't say everything gets easier, it gets different, but in the matter of me feeling myself again and getting back to normal, that does happen. I guess that's pretty much that with Michael. Once I started working and like Mike and I got on a better schedule for the baby, and you know, it all worked out. I don't want to say this and like make it seem like I'm saying it just to say it, because I know that women really do have postpartum depression and go through hell. I went through hell myself as well, but I know that it can be much more severe than I had it. But I know that's what it was. Like, I know, looking back now, and I remember Mike had like mentioned and he like didn't want to step on my toes, of course, but he was like, do you think have a little depression? And I was like, no, I'm fine, like I'm fine. And I didn't want to admit it at that time. I didn't want to admit that I was not okay. I wasn't. And I needed to talk about it. And with Ben, I had Ben in May 30th, 2016. Mikey was 3.5. Ben is obviously our second baby, and I kind of went into it knowing that I was gonna have this newborn baby, but I was also going to have my 3-year-old son that I had to take care of. I couldn't just not take care of my first baby, you know? And so I was like, okay, so I have that to, you know, keep me going, you know, instead of like, I know I'll be tired, but like I'll still have Michael to, you know, keep me active. And you know, he was still in preschool, he had camp that summer, you know, so I went into it like everything's gonna be okay. I have my Michael, the love of my life, my first baby. And so Benjamin came along, and we had a hard time breastfeeding. I had some problems. I had a lot of pain trying to breastfeed. He was latching weird. We had to go to lactation specialists. And then I had this like one horrible day. I don't know. Whatever. So with Ben, I think I had said before that Michael was really sick. He got hand, foot, and mouth. He had croup, and then he had hand, foot, and mouth when Ben was like a teeny baby, and I was mortified of this Ben was 6 pounds 11 ounces, this teeny 7-pound baby to get croup, or like, what? That's not good, you know, or hand, foot, and mouth. So like I said before, we had to like keep Mikey away from Ben, and then I would be so tired that and Mikey would just want to be on top of me, and I would just have to be like, Michael, you have to get away from us. And it was awful. It was so awful. It was so hard. And, you know, my hands look like little stubs without nails on them. All right, sorry. I just hate it. I said before, having one baby is having one baby. Having two babies is like, I was in shock. Like, I couldn't even keep my head straight. Like, Michael needs help on the potty, and then Ben is like screaming because he's this little baby and you never know what they want, and I feel like I like shut out, like I shut down. I'm sorry, I was interrupted. I think I was saying that I kind of just like shut down. It was just one of those things that no one talks about, and no one talks about, and I feel like no one's tells their story. I mean, I know some celebrities have like come out and told stories, but when you talk to the average person, I feel like no one really tells you that they had postpartum depression, you know? I was just in a place in my life that I was just so overwhelmed, and I was so defeated, and I felt like helpless, and it's not a good feeling to feel that way. No one did anything wrong. Like, no one, it's not like that, like my aunt didn't come help me, or it was like nothing like that. It was just like how I felt. I could have had all the help in the world, and I think I still would have felt just completely defeated. I know some people say they had the feeling of, you have this baby that you carry for 9 months, and you can feel it move, and you can feel it hiccup, and you can feel it kick, and then this baby's out of you, and you feel like you almost like lost a piece of you almost. I've heard people say that. I didn't feel that way. I was like, thank God, get my body back, like get this baby out. I could actually like bend over again. It's more just like my hormones and how I felt. And, you know, I would try to like make myself be happy and try to look at the good things. And like, of course it's not, and I never took 1 second for granted of this beautiful new baby. I never, you know, regretted having my baby. It was just a depression. I can't explain it. I felt I was just constantly sad, and I didn't know how to get out of it. I just felt like I would never feel like myself again, and I would never get out of this weird place, and it was so hard. It was really hard, and it still is really hard with 2 kids, but I don't feel that way that I felt. And I think it does have a lot to do with hormones. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, at least for me. I wasn't embarrassed. What is the word? Stubborn. Stubborn? I was like too stubborn to admit that this wasn't me. Like, this wasn't how I should feel, you know? And with Ben, I say I'm so glad that I had him when it was warm out and we could just sit outside under our umbrella and play outside. But it was also really hard. Like, all I wanted to do was wear sweatshirts and sweatpants, and it was like 80, 90 degrees, and I just felt like just Flubber City. I mean, I just had a baby. That was hard too, and I really didn't want to go anywhere, but at the same time I did want to go somewhere. But where do I go, and what do I do when I have to pack these kids up? So that's my story about postpartum. With Ben, it definitely took me a long time to get, like, after having him, it took me a long time to feel myself again and to get on track and thank God, has always been a very good sleeper. Besides this little hiccup we had from like 8 to 12 months, we figured that out. But he was always a really good sleeper. But those first couple of months is when Mikey was really sick with the croup and with the hand, foot, and mouth, so he would be up all night. So it wasn't even Ben that we were getting up for, it was Mikey, and he couldn't stop coughing, and I was losing sleep, and we couldn't figure it out, and we had to get him a nebulizer, and it was like this whole thing, and it just felt like it was like always something, like something kept coming up, and it was like, I can't just get back to normal. Have one baby, people come to see you. When you have two babies, like, they're like, cool, congratulations. Like, especially because I had two boys, like, I don't know, maybe if I had a girl it was different. And I'm not, like, I don't care, like, that's just how it is. I mean, I'm the same with people, like, second baby, like, good for you, can't wait to meet it, but like, it's fine, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's just my story of what I went through postpartum with both of my babies. I really don't know what else to say. All I know to say is that if anyone out there feels the way I feel or felt the way I felt, that you're not alone. You're not. And I felt like I was, and I didn't understand how, you know, people just were so happy and had 1 hour of sleep and are just like ready to, like, I can't. I need sleep. Nap when the baby naps, and like I did with Mikey, but with Ben, I couldn't nap. I had a 3-year-old I had to take care of, you know, and public service announcement that it's not uncommon, it's very common. I feel like no one really talks about it, and yeah, that's my story. So hopefully this helps someone. I'm good, things are good. I promise you that it will pass, it won't last forever. I promise you that. I promise you that it will not last forever. And you will get a hang of things, and you will grow up with your baby, and you'll learn more about your baby, you'll get to know your baby. It's like having a baby, you're meeting a stranger, you know nothing about it besides that it has your DNA, but you don't know how it acts, what it wants. It's really hard. You'll get a hang of it, and you'll get through it. Like I said before, millions of us have gone through it. Like I talked to my grandmother who had 5 babies. We went out to dinner for her birthday the other week, and she was like, I don't know how you do it with these boys. And I'm like, Gram, you had 5 kids. Like, do you not remember, you know? And maybe it's that like forgetter, like when you go through childbirth and you just forget how awful it was. I don't forget. But like, if I were to get pregnant again, I'd be like, oh, it's gonna be fine, you know? Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you very soon. I just stopped folding. I always do this. I stopped folding. I have to do, this is socks. Now it's time to match socks. So I should go. You subscribe if you haven't already. And